Now then, people, it's Joe, it's all Leeds TV, and it's time for your Forest post Brentford look ahead for the rest of the season match chat. Sorry I haven't been around for a couple of days. I've had a few days off with it being my birthday weekend. I'm glad I needed it. I need to regenerate, and now I'm back. Positive Wainman's back. Leeds are going to do this. I know the dislikes are going to go, but please refrain from doing that. Listen to what I have to say first of all. So before we get in, please smash a like if you can, share, subscribe. Of course, as well, please do check out the Retro Hut. The link is in the description. It's a Leeds-based run company that offer kit mugs, towels, air fresheners, whatever you want, pillows, anything Leeds related can be seen down there. They've also got an all Leeds TV specific section. You can get your said and now then people mug. Mine's on the way, so I'm looking forward to drinking out of that, immortalised in the shape of a mug. Quite fitting, some of you might say. So please check them out. Also on Conor's video, there will be a link to some lovely paintings that have been done. Hopefully I'll be getting one to go on my wall. There's some quite quality stuff on there as well. So check out Conor's video if you haven't already. Of course you already have. His videos are on point at the minute. So please make sure you check that out. The graphics on the latest one are absolutely class and he's smashing it out of the park. So fair play, my man. What else do we have to cover? I think that's everything. Let's get into the video. So, Nottingham Forest then. It happened, it's gone. We didn't win, we lost 2-0. We weren't great. It's the first real time where we've actually looked the lesser of the two teams. You know, we speak about it all the time, how Leeds are always in games, we're creating chances, we're failing to take them chances and we get sucker punched. It wasn't the case against Forest. They were a better side. I thought they just bossed it from start to finish, if I'm being totally honest. Lamucci set them up well. They do well. That's what I'm saying. When teams have a lot of the ball and come to attack them, they're set up that way to get you on the counter. They're better in the transitions. That's why they probably struggle against the lesser teams. And without, you know, putting my neck on the chopping line, I still don't fancy Forest to get in the top two. That's just my opinion. There are calls for Kiko to be dropped, and they're warranted as well. I mean, he shouldn't be getting beat by Mr. Amiobi. I spoke about him before the game, how he's all arms and legs. I don't really rate him, but he just seems to have decent games against us, and he did, you know. He's all limbs. He bossed Alioski at times. Alioski wasn't great. We've spoke about the left back position, but listen, January's done. We've got the bodies. We have to back the lads now. But he shouldn't be scoring from that angle anyway. And Kiko has a lot to answer for in that respect. You know, I've done a lot of work. I was on TalkSport last night. I was talking to the Besotted lads from the Brentford podcast, and everything for me seems to culminate from that Cardiff game. You know, since that Cardiff game, when we were 3-0 up, and like Conor says, we could have gone 13 points ahead and home and dry. Probably not, but you get what I'm saying. We're continuing that rich vein of form after winning 7 on the bounce. Anyway, we draw the game. We've now only won 2 out of 10, and we haven't kept a clean sheet since. You know, there's question marks over the mentality as well. I mean, it was quite telling. I get Luke Ayling's just finished 90 minutes, but out of his interview after the game, you've probably all seen it on social media. He seemed devoid of any confidence. He looked beat. And one of the key things for me was, look, the first goal killed us. We haven't scored first for such a long time. It killed us. And is that the mentality at the minute, that as soon as we go behind, the lads are like, we're done for. And it doesn't help when you're going behind from an error from your keeper, who's supposed to be, you know, Mr. Experience, played at the top level. Even if it was, you know, third choice, he still played at the top level in Spain, in Champions League games, albeit small amount of games, but he's still up there, right? You don't sit on Real Madrid's bench if you gash. There's just cold hard facts, right? You don't. But he's not really doing it at Leeds United. He seems to have cut out them silly mistakes from last season, i.e. running out, you know, into centre midfield at times. However, we're now seeing other errors where he just can't see keep a clean sheet. We spoke about it before Cardiff, 82.5% of first shots saved. Now it's down to 44.6 since that Cardiff game. There is some real frailties there amongst the Leeds United side, and if the lads can't bank on their keeper, then of course naturally, you know, they're going into games tense, nervous. So could there be a change there? I would change it there, to be honest. I would also bring Pat out, whether or not JKA is ready. I think Pat and Kiko both need to be rested. That's just my opinion. I'd change it up even more. I'd bring in Poveda, I'd put Pablo back out on the right, you know, take Kostrak, put Shackleton in the middle. There's possibilities there for many changes to be made, but will they be made? I'm not so sure. But listen, we've got Bielsa. I back Bielsa. There is calls for him to go. I think it's crazy. Be careful what you wish for. I think, looking ahead to Brentford tonight, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie to you, but for me, I'm sort of looking ahead of that. Bielsa hasn't won in London. We haven't won against Brentford since 1950. You know what I mean? They're top of the form table. Leeds are 22nd, and to think we're second in the league and we're 22nd in the form table, that's mental. And I'm not expecting much at all, if I'm being totally honest. I think one of the big positives we can take from the game is if changes are made and performances take it up a notch. You know, we might not win the game. I think we all are aware of that. We're all prepared for that. I think it'd be an crazy Leeds thing for us to actually take some points from there. And it would really boost us ahead of 2 home fixtures. But I'm not really looking forward to it. I think Thomas Frank coming out and saying what he said, you know, how he sees, Leeds fear us and there'll be no tougher place to go than Griffin Park on a Tuesday night, etc., etc. Whether or not it was meant in that way, whether or not it was put across that way. I spoke to the lads at the Brentford podcast. They said it wasn't the case. You know, the press are looking for sound bites. They got them sound bites. Whether or not you take the time to listen to the interview and seeing which way it's put across, ultimately, they're the key sound bites. Now, I was speaking to my friend, Mr. Dinglebert Dev, yesterday, and, you know, he made a good point. Look, if you're Stewie Dallas, if you're Calvin Phillips, who's back in the side, which I'm buzzing for, but he does have a lot to answer for, by the way, getting himself, you know, a reckless red card and 3 games out because we've missed him, because Ben White isn't a defensive midfielder, he's a centre-back and we need him back there. But back onto my point, Dallas, KP, Cooper, even Forshaw, even though he's not involved, I'd be going and saying, are you seeing what Thomas Frank's saying about us? That we fear Brentford, that this is, you know, we couldn't pick a more difficult place to go than Griffin Park. History might support that fact, but ultimately, as a professional footballer, that's calling you out. And I think they need to use that. I think it was needless for him to say, whether or not it's meant in that intention. He doesn't need to say it. And it's added a bit of spice. And if we look back to last season, if you think about the Conor situation with Alioski, that Ollie Watkins diving or going into their dressing room and causing this, stoking up this fire, that by the time we got to Griffin Park, Brentford wanted to beat us. I remember listening to Billy from the Basotto podcast saying how they'd spoken to Morpay, etc. And they were like, we just can't wait for that Leeds game. We really want to turn them over. And they beat us, and they beat us well. You know, our season had already derailed by that point. But is it giving Leeds United players that added spice to be able to use it like they have? And say, do you know what? They say, you know, that we fear them. You know, does it give them that added spice? They're saying that we fear them, you know, that there's no tougher place for us to go. For me, it does. And I would be using that as a Leeds United player. Look, there's no joke. There are no jokes with Brentford. They are an absolutely fantastic side. You've got BMW up top, Benrahma, Watkins and Buemo. They've been absolutely smashing it. I said earlier on in the season, I didn't fancy Brentford because I didn't think Watkins was that, you know, number 9 that will be able to replace Morpay. How wrong I were. What's he up to? 20 goals? He's been absolutely fantastic. I'm surprised none of them, you know, picked him up from the Prem, especially Benrahma. You know, they've got talent throughout. Will Janssen make it? Listening to the Basotto boys, they don't seem to think if he's not fully fit, he won't get in. That's not what Thomas Frank's like. But for me, he makes the game. Of course he does. He can't wait to play this game. I genuinely believe that. And he's been a bit of a revelation for them. It has to be said. But what I will say, he's not at our club anymore. And I back Cooper and I back Ben White. You know, there's a lot of, we should have never got rid of Janssen. Yeah, it's easy to say with hindsight. And on the point of hindsight, you know, social media, I've got fans messaging me at half-time against Forest saying, I never listen to your stuff. You're far too positive. You know, I knew we wouldn't win. The only time I'll, you know, look after this Leeds United side is when we're blowing teams away in the first half. Yeah, hindsight. You said it at half-time after we're 1-0 down, playing poorly. Say it before the game. Call me out before the game. Don't do it during the game when we're getting beat. You know what I mean? Stick your neck on the line and say, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong now. Not during the game. You know what I mean? When we're already behind and we're already all feeling it and having to watch it, and then you're getting messages off your own fucking fans saying, you're wrong. All right, okay, revel in it, enjoy it. I don't know how you can. We're Leeds United. We need to all be together and back. That's one thing. The fans must unite. The fans must unite. We must show the lads that we fully back them. You know, after tonight's game, listen, I don't think we're going to win the game. I genuinely don't. I think the first goal's key. If Brentford get the first goal, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. The most we can hope for is a point in that instance. But if we can get that first goal, I do think Brentford will score, but we could win the game 2-1. I know, you just don't know, guys. You just don't know which Leeds United side's going to turn up. But I'm not expecting anything from the game, and that's fine. And maybe that will work for us. We are no longer the hunted. We are the hunter. You know, there's a lot to be said. Look, there is 15 games to play. 15 games to play in this division. 45 points to play for. Yeah, there is a long way to go. You know, we have 10 games left to play against teams in the bottom half, right? We actually have the best turnaround of points against teams in the bottom half than any of the top 7 that currently sit there, okay? So you have to take these positives. It's far from over. You know, Leeds are falling apart again. The chant's done. Because guess what? We fell apart. We've lost our points total. We're now back in a dogfight. We're no longer being hunted. You've caught us in. You've reeled us in. We're not falling apart again. It's already happened. Yeah? It's already happened. We are now in a dogfight. We are now in a dogfight for second place. I don't care for first. I've said it since day dot. You all know that, right? But there's no Leeds collapse anymore because it's already happened. Yeah, we might lose tonight. It's not terminal because then we still have 14 games left to play. You know, 10 of them games are against teams in the bottom half, and Leeds United have the best return than any other team in the top 7 for wins or points against teams in the bottom half. We have 8 games left to play at home. You know, we need to make it a fortress. We all must unite. Get that crowd pumping, because as soon as we get on a run, as soon as we start to win games again, then the fan base will be back on it. We just need to maintain that. We genuinely do. Look, 8 games left to play at home. 10 of them games in total out of the 14, or the 15 if you take tonight's game, are against teams in the bottom half of the division, and Leeds United have the best return against teams in the bottom half than anyone else up there with us at this moment in time. You know, teams like Fulham, etc., Bristol City, they only have like 3 or 4 games left against teams in the bottom half. You know, it's far from over. It's still in our hands, guys. It's still in our hands, regardless of what your thought process is. Just take a step back, you know, and have a look what's left. I think it'll serve us better to be in there and not have that pressure of, oh, the points are going, we're losing it again, because it's done. It's done. We've fallen apart. Game over. Right, done. Now we go again. 14 cup finals, 15 if you take tonight. I'm saying 14 because I'm probably going to write tonight off. I'll probably come off social media as well, because tonight will be brutal if changes aren't made. But we then still have 14 games to go. Remember what KP said at the start of the season. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we still have a long way to go. 45 points to play for. It's still in our hands, guys. That's my overriding feeling. You'll probably dislike it, I understand it, but listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I will always try to look for the positives. You know, it was tough, birthday weekend, Forest, etc., social media, all of it. It's been tough, but we have to look again. It'll be tough after tonight, guys, because I don't think we'll get out. I don't think we will. But there's still a long way to go. And if we did get something, can you imagine the boost it would give us ahead of 2 home games against Bristol City and Reading? And they're the games you must win. And they're the games that the 30,000 fans that need to push the lads on. Because it is far from over. You know, it won't be long before JKA is starting games. He will start games. Bielsa said 70% he'll be in there. We've started to see him. He probably won't start tonight, but could he start on Saturday? There is a long way to go yet. And I've always said I don't care for first. We're in a scrap, and I believe it'll serve us better being in there. There is no more Leeds collapse because we've already done it. You know what I mean? We go again and we chase that second spot down. We maintain it, we keep it, and we go up. we get automatic promotion. You know, best record against any other team, against teams in the bottom half, right, than any other team in the top 7 at the moment. There's 45 points to play for. 8 games still at home. I'm repeating myself, but this is what we need to look at. We need to look at the positives. The boys have to have our backing because they're devoid of any confidence. Because they see the points haul that's dropped. We all feel it, guys. We all feel it. You know, some of you might have seen it happening, I get it, all that, but I was riding that crest of the wave, as is always the case. You know, I had lads coming up to me, Borough fans, saying, look, Brentford ain't that good, they weren't that great against us, etc., etc., and they probably weren't. You know, I listened to the Besotted lads last night. They didn't pull out a sterling performance, but they got the win, and that's what matters the most. But I'm like, sat at work going, guys, it's over, man, it's done. I can't be arsed anymore. I'm stressed out. Look, it's happening again, etc., etc. Then you have to take a step back and take it all in. Look, there's still a long way to go. And Leeds United are still well within this, you know, within the hunt. And we must, as a fan base, fully back them. I know it's hard because I'm there with you guys. Do you know what I mean? I'm there as well. It is rock hard. But we have to back the lads. Starting tonight. If we can get a positive result tonight, after everything I don't think we will, guys, but after everything Thomas Franks said, you know, the needle that we have with Brentford, you know, as opposed to the way it went last season, the lads have to go out and show no fear. We've been reeled in now. Let's get back amongst it. And if we don't, that's fine, because we've still got 14 games to go, and then we have 2 home games. Keep saying to you, 8 games left to play at home is absolutely huge in the running. Absolutely huge. You know, 10 teams to play from 12th and below, and we have the best record against teams in the bottom half. I know that's hard to think, you know, after Wigan. But it's the facts, guys. It's the facts. And we can still do this, man. I genuinely believe that. I know this is a long video. Please like, please share, subscribe, and of course, please subscribe to the channel. You know, 49% of you who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you could take the time to just hit that sub button. I hope you've taken a bit from this. I hope you know, going into the game, there's no pressure tonight. It is what it is. If we don't win, it's fine. If we don't pick up a point, it's fine. Okay, we're not expecting anything, and I think that's why the pressure's off for us as a fan base, probably for the players as well. And then we go again, don't we? With you know, 8 games left at home, guys, out of 14. That's a big haul. That's a big haul. Best record against teams in the bottom half, and that's even with our current run. Do you know what I mean? So we can still turn the corner. We can still go up, and I genuinely believe that. And you have to believe too, or try to. You know. There's a lot of yous that have followed Leeds way before I was even on this planet. You know, and I see it in the comments, and no, it's happening, I get it. And there's lads that are young and have only seen us capitulate. You know? And I get that as well. So everyone's going to have different opinions. But I guess it's a bit of a rallying cry. We have to support the lads. Let's not get too damn beat if we don't pick up maximum points or get a point tonight. Because it's going to be a difficult place for us to go. That's so hard for me to say. As you know, you guys know I'm positive. It's hard for me to say. But there's still a long way to go, guys. And I think it'll serve Leeds United better hunting that top 2, getting after it right until the last game of the season, as opposed to getting chased down with that pressure that we've had from us as fans, from the players, from getting chased down, from everyone saying they're falling apart again in the media, etc., etc. It's done now. We've fallen apart. Yeah? Not Leeds are falling apart again, we have. We've done it. And we go again now. We go again. But thank you so much for tuning in. I will end it this time. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you check out the Retro Hut and, of course, the paintings that Conor has on offer over on his YouTube video. Give him a look as well. Great video last time out. And I'll see you all later, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out. Leeds TV.